Alright, now today I want to show you how to dig a live Christmas tree. Now actually, this is a Canadian hemlock. This probably isn't what you're going to choose for a Christmas tree, but I need this for the landscape that I'm doing up at the house here. So I'm going to go ahead and dig this in for my landscape. The process is the same, whether it's a white pine, Norway spruce, concolor fir, it doesn't matter. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this string and I'm going to tie up the lower branches so I can actually get in there. Let me show you. Well, basically I want this lot not to slip, so I'm going to start right here and loop it, and then I'm going to tie that around itself. I'm only tying it around, excuse me, around a single piece of that string. So now this thing will slip. So what I'm going to do, put it around my wrist like that, and then I'm going to grab a couple of these lower branches like this, pull them together, get my string down there, and then just pull it tight. And then I'm going to start going around the tree and tying the branches up so that I can get underneath of there and see what I'm doing as I dig this thing. And of course this also keeps me from breaking the branches as I work with this tree. And then when I get it tied up where I want it, I'm simply going to tie it off just like that. And then we'll start digging. Now, when I start digging, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape some of that soil off around to get rid of any vegetation that's down there. And then I'm going to start carving around the tree to make a root ball. Now, ideally, you want roughly 12 inches of root ball, 11 to 12 inches per 1 inch of caliper of the tree. And you're measuring the caliper of the tree about 6 inches off the ground. So that's a good rule of thumb to follow. If you make the ball too big, it's going to be loose and it'll fall apart. Plus, you won't be able to pick it up. Alright, I got my ball dug, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my burlap, I'm going to lay it right here on the ground, kind of fold it a little bit, and then I'm going to lift the ball out of the hole. Hopefully the ball doesn't come up undone. Yep. I'll get it up in the center of the burlap. About like that. Tie up my corners. Alright, I got it tied up. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to use pinning nails and I'm going to tighten up this burlap so I have a nice tight ball and the tree doesn't wobble back and forth in the ball. So these pinning nails are round on the end. They're made for digging trees so that you can push them in and not, the head of them is a little bit rounded so you don't cut yourself up trying to get them in there. Of course, you can use regular nails if that's all you can get your hands on. You just got to be more careful. So I'm using the nail to give me a little bit of leverage to pull that burlap tight. And then I'll give it a roll. Alright, now I'm going to go under here. I'm going to start. I've got a trench dug around here. Now I'm going to start undercutting the tree. I'm not going to pry a lot, just enough to get my spade back out smoothly. Now you can see the ball is starting to loosen up, so I'm going to lift on it a little bit more as I go around here. Alright, now I got my ball, I got it dug, I put some pitting nails in it. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the ball so that what it's going to do is the rope that I'm going to put around here, the string really, this is a biodegradable string, which is always a good thing when you're working with plants, is going to actually help me, it'll help hold the ball tight so that it doesn't get loosened up and the tree doesn't wobble all over the place. And it also comes in pretty handy when you're handling the ball, because it kind of gives you a handle to lift the ball with. So it's always a handy feature to have a tree that's got a rope around the ball. So I got the rope going 4 ways, and then I'm going to come down here about halfway around, get underneath of there, right about there. And then I'm going to just start going this way with it. Alright, I got my ball dug, I got a little tail there, I could cut that off if I want, probably not. Now all I got to do is get this thing out of the field. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to handle bald trees like this, because this thing is heavier than I really want to pick up on myself. So I'm going to we'll come back and I'm going to show you two different ways that we handle bald trees to make the load a little bit more manageable. Alright, now Dustin is going to show you how to lift this tree by yourself using a hay hook. However, this is heavy. If you've got a bad back, a weak back, don't even think about it, and we're going to show you a better way. But a lot of times when I'm by myself or Dustin's out here by himself, this is what we do, and I'm no dummy. I'm going to let him lift this one. So what he's got in his hand is a hay hook that you use for handling bays of hay, and he's going to actually use that to give himself a handle to lift this bald tree. He's going to stick that right in the ball, and then he's going to grab the strings opposite that, and then he can lift it and put it on a cart or put it somewhere. So that makes it considerably easier. All right, now the better way, a good way to handle a bald tree like this is to get somebody to help you. And what we often do is we'll take a piece of burlap just like this and use it as a sling. We'll put it right underneath the tree, usually wrap the burlap around our hands once, and then stand the tree right up, and then 2 people can carry this thing and split that load right in half, so you're only carrying half of the weight. And we'll show you exactly how we do that. Tape. If you buy a live Christmas tree in a lot, you're going to get a tree that looks like this in a ball. And when you get it home, hopefully you'll have it on the back of a truck and not in the trunk of a car, because in the trunk of a car you have to lift it out. It's the worst lift in the world. So if you got it in the back of the truck, the thing to do is to slide it right into a wheelbarrow, and then you wheelbarrow it to the hole and dump it in. Now, what you want to do with a live Christmas tree is you want to dig that hole right now while the ground isn't frozen. Now, and then take the tree in the house, celebrate Christmas, and then as quickly as possible get the tree out of the house, and then just bring it out and slide it in your pre-dug hole. Even if the ground is frozen and you can't backfill the hole, the tree's going to be much better off down in that hole where the wind's not beating on the ball. It won't dry it out as much. There's two things that are going to go wrong with a bald tree, a live tree like this. One, it's going to dry out. Two, it's going to come out of dormancy. This tree is dormant. I mean, it's December. This tree is resting for the winter. Now, when you take this in your house, you're going to confuse it, because it's going to be like, wow, it's 70 degrees. It must be time to put on new growth. So it's going to start to break dormancy and then put on new growth, and when you take it back outside, that's pretty traumatic for the tree. So the ideal thing is to only have it in the house for the minimal amount of time. And then as soon as your Christmas is over, get it outside and get it in the ground. So I'm going to pre-dig the hole, and then I'm going to show you how to plant it and exactly what you need to do to make the tree survive and thrive.